This is the BBQ Central Show Archives. The BBQ Central Show airs live each Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and is brought to you by the BBQ Guru, makers of automatic pit temperature control devices, and a host of other products that make your barbecue and grilling life easier. Visit them online at thebbqguru.com or call them 800-288-GURU. And by Big Papa Smokers, creators of fabulous rubs, online retailer of grills, accessories, apparel, and creators of their own barbecue contests. Visit them online at bigpapasmokers.com. And by Butcher Barbecue, creators of injections and rubs, sweeping the nation, doing well in competitions and in the backyard. You can visit them at butcherbbq.com. And by Stephen DeFranco Jewelers, official jeweler of the Barbecue Central Show. Call 440-943-2700 and use key term Barbecue Brother when you talk to Steve, or visit them online at StephenDeFranco.com. And by Green Mountain Grills, one of the best pellet grills you can get on the market today, varying sizes, not only for your capacity of cooking, but for your budget as well. Visit greenmountaingrills.com for more information. And by El Diablo Mustard. Looking for a little bit of heat and flavor in regular old yellow mustard? El Diablo has you covered. 6 different flavors to choose from currently, and you can find them at eldiablomustard.com. And by cookinpellets.com. Have a pellet-driven cooker? Why not try out some of the best pellets on the market and will not void any of your warranties, by the way? Cookinpellets.com is the website. And by Cook Shack, a premier manufacturer of electric and pellet-driven cookers, giving barbecue classes located in Ponca City, Oklahoma. Always running some kind of a special deal. Check them out at cookshack.com.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, folks, welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. Failing at will, I might add. 4 minutes before, got a reboot. Oh! All right, it's a show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling, blah, blah, blah. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, 216-220-0966 if you want to jump in. I will forego with all of the other opening crap and get right into the first read of the evening because we have Meathead coming up out of the break. Let me talk to you quickly about the longest-running sponsor of the show, located in Warminster, Pennsylvania, the Barbecue Guru. Gang, look, if you have been thinking about automatic pit temperature control devices for your cooker, stop here. This is the company that started it all. They are the creators of this technology. Why would you go anywhere else? I don't know. Now, maybe you're not familiar with how these little beauties work. I'm not going to get into the minute detail, but imagine a product that allows you to set your pit temperature, and once set, keeps it running at that set temperature all the way through the cook. Sounds too good to be true? It's not. It's real life. You can take advantage of this technology today. So maybe you're a busy working professional like me, or perhaps you're constantly on the run. Uh-oh. Now, there should be video. Come on. Everybody got video? Everybody should have video. If you are a busy working professional like me, you don't have the time to sit around and tend those pit temperatures, Guru allows you to throw on a pork butt, a brisket, a couple slabs of rib, you're off to do whatever it is you need to get done, and the Barbecue Guru maintains that pit temperature you set it at. Number of different models to choose from: CyberQ Wi-Fi, the Party Q, only 2 of plenty of automatic pit temperature control devices to look for. Of course, you're in the market for a cooker, look no further than the Onyx oven. It has been winning in the competition circuit as well as in backyards all over the country. Fully insulated, holds a ton of meat, accommodates half and full pans for food service, and works seamlessly with any Guru pit temperature control device that you might get. Do yourself a favor, head on over to thebbqguru.com and check out their products. If you have any questions about what to order, call them directly. 800-288-GURU. They will make sure you're outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. That's 800-288-GURU. Or visit them at thebbqguru.com. The Barbecue Guru, a breakthrough in barbecue technology. Meathead out of the break, talking thermometers tonight. Live, local, late-breaking thermometer time. Does it get any better than that? I don't think so. All right. Oh, boy. Look at this. Now I got internet connection problems. Folks, it's going to be a laugh riot tonight. I can guarantee it. You're going to want to stick around for what could possibly be one of the worst shows ever put out, and has none of my doing. Yay! Meathead coming back.
Broadcasting live from the BBQ Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Lampe.
Folks, we are back. You're listening to really just the show itself. Not sure exactly what the hell is going on. Can't get anywhere. This program isn't working at all. Wow. It's a complete debacle. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I mean, I can't tell if I'm on, if I'm off. My streaming server looks to be off. This isn't on. No connection. Oh. Wow, this is a nightmare.
Broadcasting live from the BBQ Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Lampe.
Oh, sweet Mary Mother of Jeepers Creepers. Holy God. All right. Meathead already got an echo coming into you, so be careful. Oh, all right. It's gone. I don't have any idea what's going on here tonight. It's quite honestly a infernal track. Oh, my God. Now my camera's all jacked up. Meathead, hold on one sec. This is not to beat the band. I don't know. There we go. All right. Yeah, I was a little too... here we go. Joining me now, master of his domain, creator of AmazingRibs.com, Meathead Goldwyn. What's up, Thermohead?
I'm taking the temperature of my meaty head. How is the Buckeye of barbecue today?
Well, we're... it's odd to me, Meathead. You have a state of Ohio You have the Ohio State University, and I was listening to some sports talk hosts locally go, is this something that the people in Cleveland can share? Is this a championship that we hang our hats on, and or should it just be relegated to the people in Columbus, both active and past alumni? And I don't know. I mean, I'm very happy that they won. I don't know if I would race to the streets and tip cars over, light fires, and kick windows in, which is a completely bizarre act by human beings after winning championship sporting events.
Did they do that?
Yes, of course they did. It's crazy. It's on the social media. But nonetheless, great victory, and mark my words on this day, Meathead. Last night turns the power shift away from the SEC and back to the Big Ten. Jim Harbaugh's
Gator, where Urban Meyer won his first 2 national championships.
That's right.
I hope you're wrong.
Well, Jim Harbaugh's in Michigan. I mean, things are going to be, I think, a little bit different in the power struggle here from at least for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Nevertheless.
Well, I like the new championship game concept. I think it worked.
Yeah.
There's talk of expanding it to 8 teams. I'm thinking it's fine just the way it is. Leave it alone.
That's enough, right?
Yeah, I loved it. It was a good game. Well, it wasn't that great a game. I think the games last week were better, but still fun.
Yeah,
still
absolutely. Fun. And great fun, great contest. Meathead, we're talking tonight about thermometers. Not about thermometer hats, but about thermometers. And I think, we've touched on thermometers over the years, and maybe had partial segments dedicated to thermistors and transistors and robistors and whatever. But tonight we were going to maybe go a little bit more in depth on thermometers. And I don't know if you have this information readily available, but when did thermometers become, introduced into food safety? You know how long they've been around and how they've evolved?
Gosh, I don't know that. I do know that the ever-present popular bimetallic dial thermometer is more than 100 years old.
Wow.
I know that the mercury thermometer is centuries old. I don't know when. I'm just hazarding a guess. We do know that Louis Pasteur was deeply involved in discovering the role that microbes had in disease and food spoilage, and also making wine and cheese and such. I was in France this year, and I visited the Pasteur Institute, and that's a really cool museum. If anybody's over in Paris and wants to go to a neat little museum that's off the beaten path, they have a lot of Pasteur's original instruments, his notes. Quite a character. I mean, he really made some major breakthroughs. A really important person in our history. So I would imagine he was using it to measure fermentation temperatures and stuff. I don't know. I do know that it's more important today than ever before. Did you get the pictures I sent?
Yeah, I'm actually working to pull those up. It's going to have to be kind of on the move here.
We'll
because
move
of what
quickly.
happened.
In fact, number one, food. People say, "Well, my parents never used a thermometer; they didn't need a thermometer." Food today is raised differently than it used to be. Chickens in their battery cages. They're all crammed in together tight. The big problem is when they're put through the factory cleaning and degutting and feather removing. If there's a spillage of salmonella from them, which almost all birds have, it gets into the bath water and it gets on all of them. Cattle are kept in these large concentrated feeding operations. They walk around in their own poop. They lay down in their own poop.
Yeah, look at that. Ugh.
Yeah, it's on their hides. That goes into the slaughterhouse. It gets on the knife blades. The assembly line's moving fast. The guys with the knives may get careless and cut open a intestine or two. So, I mean, food processing is fairly safe out there, but it's not as safe as it could be, and it's not as safe as it used to be. The population in our environment of Salmonella, Campylobacter, E. coli is higher than it's ever been. The CDC estimates that roughly 1 in 6 Americans have gotten sick from foodborne illness in the past year. 128,000 hospitalized, 3,000 deaths.
Wow.
That's, the same number of people that died in 9/11. And we haven't declared war on food safety. It's an issue, and it's easily combated. All of the foodborne illness bugs can be killed by proper temp, cooking to proper temp. Get it up to 160, 165, it kills just about everything. But nobody wants to cook a steak that high.
No.
And it's important to understand the different types of foods and what the right temperatures are. I've got my ever popular slide number 2, our meat temperature guide. I'm not slide number 2.
That's it.
I'm not 20. No.
20? Oh, 22, you said.
No, it's slide 02. Oh, wait a minute. Number
That's
20.
it.
Yes, sorry. God, I can't count.
Wait, is it 2 or 20?
20, I apologize.
All right, 20 it is.
There we go.
Go.
We produced this meat temperature guide. It's grown from 8.5 by 5.5 to 8.5 by 11 now, but it's got just about every meat temp in there that you'd ever need to know, including sugar temps and all kinds of other stuff. Good guide. You can print it out from our website, or if you want, you can buy it on Amazon for $10 in a magnet form, and we send it free to all members of our Pitmaster Club. But it's a good guide. And it shows you what USDA recommends and what chefs cook to. And you need to know this stuff. You need to know also, with today's price of steaks, medium rare is 130 degrees, not 140. And you can't tell by color. Throw up number 5. The oxygen changes the color. This is the same cut of meat, and one has just been exposed to oxygen a little longer than the other, and it changes color. So when you put a cut in the meat, standing out there by the grill holding a flashlight in your teeth, you really can't tell what temperature the meat is. You really need a good thermometer to tell that. And if you'll put up number 4, you can't tell by the juice colors. That is a chicken that has been cooked to well past the safe temperature, and the juices are still pink.
Yep.
And that's a factor of pH and other things going on, such as the fact that there's actually still a little blood left in the bones, which don't get to calcify heart fast enough. We've talked about that. But you can't tell by poking your hand. Slide 3, because I've been putting on a little weight lately, and my hand's just a little meatier than yours probably, and so you've got fat, soft hands versus firm hands, and they just don't bear correlation to the tension, surface tension of meat. Throw up slide number 2. The tenderness of a filet mignon is different than the touch to a sirloin.
Right.
So poking the meat just doesn't tell you. Poking your hand doesn't tell you. Now, if I'm the chef at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and I'm cooking the same filet mignons every night from the same meat supplier every day, yeah, I can poke it and tell. But most of us in the backyard just can't tell, and those guys out there who
what? Hello. Am I still on? We lost Meathead. Let me get out of these pictures. Oh, it's all gone. Skype is gone. Oh, no. All right. Wow. What a night. Fire Skype back up here. See what we can do. Meathead, I don't know what happened. But we will get him right back. All right, there's Meathead.
I don't hear it. Were you able to hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not hearing you at all.
You're not hearing me at all?
I don't hear you. Were you able to hear me?
Uh-oh. Are you listening to it somewhere else, Meathead? You're not hearing me at all?
No.
No. Uh-oh. You're behind. Uh-oh. Are you listening to it somewhere else, Meathead?
Yeah, because I'm trying to pick you up.
Ah.
Now I hear you. Say again.
You can hear me now?
Beautiful. I can hear you now.
All right. I don't have your video though.
That's bizarre.
I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you right back. Call you right back. Wow. It's a marathon already, folks. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Sweet Mary Lorraine.
All right.
Okay. So, where were we at?
I was making the case for why we need a thermometer. Your audience probably already knows that. Let's talk about the different kinds of thermometers.
Wait, let me ask you one question. When we were talking about the poking, is it at least a good rule of thumb to do the poke of the wrist and the thumb meet and this and that to at least get an idea of where it would be, or it's completely irrelevant, the poking?
I think it's irrelevant. I mean, like I say, filet mignon is going to feel different than sirloin. A thick piece of meat is going to feel different than a thin piece of meat.
That's what she said.
If it's cooked well done near the surface, it'll feel. It won't tell you anything about the center. And so, how it compares. I've heard of people tell you poke your nose. Well, I mean, how does that compare to the meat? But I know that I've got this guy, Thermopen.
Yep.
All right, $100. You don't have to spend $100. This reads in 2 seconds. You can get a darn good thermometer for $25. They're Thermopop. $25.
Same company.
It takes 5 seconds to read.
Same company makes it.
Same company. Just this is a thermocouple, which is the most sensitive probe, and it can have a very small tip. The Thermopop is a thermistor, which is not as sensitive, has a slightly wider margin of error, but a degree or two of margin of error is not going to ruin your meal. So, everybody ought to have a decent meat thermometer to make sure what they're eating is safe. While you're at it, it'd be nice to have a thermometer where you can leave the probe in the meat. So when you're doing a pork butt or a brisket or a turkey, and number 7 is an example that almost all your people know about. That's the famous Maverick ET733 or the 732. Really popular devices, really effective. They have 2 probes. You can put one in the oven, or I use the term oven and grill and smoker interchangeably because smoker is an oven. Grill is an oven. It's just that the type of heat and where it comes from and what it does is a little different than your indoor oven. But it works as an oven thermometer in your house as well. You can bring it indoors and use it in your... And boy, I tell you, if you haven't checked your indoor oven with your thermometers, do it. It's amazing how far off they can be. And you'll be shocked to see the range, because it kicks in, it raises. Say you're shooting for 225, it'll kick in and it'll raise the temp to 250 or 260. Then it'll cut out and drop it down to maybe 200. Then it'll kick in and go back up to 250. So it's averaging 225, but it spends just a few seconds at 225, and that variation is really wide. If you use a Barbecue Guru, or even on my I have a Mac pellet grill with their Pit Boss. That sinusoidal curve is much shallower, and it's up maybe 5-10 degrees fluctuation. But check your indoor oven and watch that fluctuation. It's amazing. And you may find that it's way off. Some of them can be adjusted. Some of them you got to call a repairman to adjust it. But you really need to check them if you've got them. So I like the idea of having a handheld rapid read meat thermometer so you can test your steak, test your chicken, make sure you're not wasting money on overcooking steak or giving people a tummy ache with undercooked chicken. An oven or a grill thermometer. It's nice if you've got one that you can leave in a big hunk of meat so you don't have to stand there and open the door and check it every 10 minutes. A refrigerator thermometer. Slide 9. A refrigerator thermometer, you can get a liquid for that. You don't need a digital because you just will go through batteries like crazy, running all the time. Liquid thermometers are really reliable, really accurate. They're very precise. You just don't want to be sticking them in meat. But they're really good for refrigerators, and you can get them for $10-15. Freezers. And then slide 10, if you really want to spend a lot of money, you can get an infrared gun, which isn't much good for anything that we use in cooking other than pizza stones. If you're a pizza cook and a pizza aficionado, having a gun is a really nice, boy, it'll really improve your crust. If you know what your target temp is, what your dough and your stone are doing together. So that's useful for them. They're a little more expensive, maybe in the $50 range. I use mine to find leaks around my windows around the house.
Uh-huh. Very good. Meathead Goldwyn joining me here on the show. We're talking about thermometers. Meathead, hold off just for 1 second. We'll do some Big Papa Smoker stuff here, and then we'll be right back with you to pick up right after this. AmazingRibs.com is website if you want to check it out here while we're talking. Look, folks, if you didn't know by now, Big Papa Smokers is the one-stop shop for anyone interested in barbecue, featuring a comprehensive selection of American-made grills, spices, sauces, accessories, even a kit that gives you everything you need to make a world-class smoker out of a 55-gallon drum. Big Papa Smokers has made a name for itself by making award-winning line of championship rubs. Their rubs have won almost every major competition barbecue event, including the 2012 and 13 World Series of Barbecue in Kansas City, the 2012 and 14 Jack Daniels Invitational, 2013 Kingsford Challenge, 2014 Houston Livestock and Rodeo, and many more to come. BPS also banded together with fellow California-based barbecue rub company Simply Marvelous Barbecue to form what has now become known as the West Coast Offense. Defying conventional wisdom, these two California-based rub makers have cornered the market on competitive barbecue and begun to redefine the flavor profiles that competitive cooks from across the country have begun to aim for. They've even created two of their own unique competitions, King of the Smoker, which brings the best of the best in barbecue in a head-to-head back-to-basics competition. King of the Smoker unique into the fact that you can't use any of the electric stuff, no pellets, no pit minders, nothing like that. Contestants just allowed to use charcoal wood and their wits to win one of the most high-stakes barbecue competitions around. The other one that they've drummed up is the Guinea Pig. It's a cost-controlled competition that helps to bring in newcomers to the competitive barbecue world, also featuring prize distributions all the way down to 10th place in each category, and that helps provide incentive to get new competitors into the world of barbecue. Top of all of that, Big Papa created a unique brand ambassador program, the BPS Elite Team, featuring 15 of the best competition teams in the country working together to promote camaraderie, competition barbecue, and to benefit children's charities across the U.S. Keep in mind, Big Papa Smokers only doing this now for just over 4 years, turning the competition barbecue world on its head, creating their own unique competitions, becoming a staple of a nationwide restaurant chain, and benefiting children's charities across the U.S. It's just the beginning. We've just scratched the surface with Big Papa Smokers. You can find them at BigPapaSmokers.com. Thanks to Sterling Ball and the gang over there. And we will be back with Meathead Goldwyn from AmazingRibs.com right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Lampe.
All right, welcome back. Meathead Goldwyn is joining us here on the show as well. AmazingRibs.com is his website. Everybody's seen it. Can't even lie about it. Everybody's been there. All right, Meathead, we're talking about thermometers, and we're talking about ones you should leave in the meat, and cold thermometers for refrigerators and freezers and all this good stuff. What else do we need to hit on when it comes to thermometers?
Well, the hot thing now are your remote thermometers, and if you want to cycle through slides 7, 8, and 16.
7, 8, and 16.
Yeah, so don't ask me how I number these things. 7, 8, and 16.
All right, here's 7.
But everybody, there's number 7, the Mavericks again. They've been real popular. A lot of those on the circuit. This is a cool one. It's high Celsius. Greg, I think they're in the Cleveland area. This is really it's becoming one of my all-time favorites.
Really?
I love it. It's brain dead simple. It's Wi-Fi. Now, if you're looking for a remote, you want to pay attention to how it speaks to the receiver. Now, the Maverick uses radio frequency, which is pretty good. It goes well through walls, covers a long distance. The iGrills, which I see a couple of people in the chat room use, they're Bluetooth, and so is the Bluetherm Duo, which is ThermoWorks' model.
Right.
Bluetooth, it doesn't have a lot of range. Bluetooth was designed mainly for headsets to handsets, short distance, a few feet. They've managed to pump them up to 20, 30 feet. I'm not a huge fan of Bluetooth devices because I just seem to have a problem often getting them paired, getting the device to talk to my iPhone or my computer or my iPad. But they're getting better at it. The new iGrill 2 and the iGrill Mini are better than the iGrill 1. I didn't recommend. That's the iGrill 2. And that's neat because it'll take 4 probes. And that's pretty cool.
Small. It's small.
Well, don't be deceived. It's the iGrill. All right, well, yeah, there's a quarter.
This is a quarter right here.
Right, okay, so it is fairly small.
Yeah.
About the size of an alarm clock, pretty nice. It's got a magnetic back, so it'll stick on things. They're thermocouples. I mean, thermistors, not thermocouples, but I've tested it for a while, and they're pretty accurate. I like it a lot. It just doesn't have a huge range, but it's a really nice machine. And going back to the iCelsius, this thing is about the size of a pack of cards, a deck of cards. Real small. I couldn't find mine. I think Ryan took it home with him. But it's thin, about the size of a deck of cards, and it's got like an on and an off button. It talks to an app on your iPhone or your Android device, and it tracks. You can record and save and email all of the readings you're getting, and it has a nice range of probes, including health probes. You can take like your own temperature. If you're not feeling well, you can use it to take your temperature. They have a number of other probes for it, and it's got a huge range. I walked a quarter of a mile from my grill deck with my iPad, and I was still receiving a strong signal. And I just had to come back because my dogs were making so much noise, but I might have gone a quarter of a mile. So I really like it.
So it's hooking into your home Wi-Fi.
Yeah, actually, it creates its own Wi-Fi. You plug it into, plug the probes into the box.
Yeah.
Stick the probe into the meat, and turn on your iPhone, iPad, or Android, whatever.
Yeah.
And go to your Wi-Fi settings, and it finds the device as a Wi-Fi. Now, it has another setting where it can, in fact, talk to a computer on a Wi-Fi network. So then you can board your plane and head for the West Coast and monitor temperatures through the cloud. It's just amazing. Now, it's on I think it's around $80, $90, I forget. But you can get a dual probe. So it can have 2 probes. I'm very impressed with it, and it holds a charge for a pretty long time. It can die in the middle of a cook, and Mavericks almost never die in the middle of a cook. Yeah, but it's a cool app. It's a really nice tool. I'm very impressed with it.
What kind of is it a thermocouple here too?
It's a thermistor, which is...
All right, let's talk about that real quick. So you talk about the different, instrumentals, the internal instrumentals. Can you rate them from the best to like the run of the mill?
Yeah. The least reliable would be your bimetal dial thermometers. This is a 100-year-old technology, and it hasn't improved much. There are a couple of brands that are real popular. Oh, geez, I'm drawing a blank on the one that all the barbecue guys use.
Teltrue?
Teltrue, thank you.
That's right.
The Teltrues seem to be really reliable. We've tested them. They're pretty darn accurate, but they're still bimetal, and they work by two pieces of metal hinged together, and one expands at a different rate. Teltrues are pretty good, but it's still a really ancient technology, and most of the dial thermometers on your grills are an afterthought. They buy them from the cheapest manufacturer they can find, and they put them up in the dome, and the meat is down here on the grate. So if you're going to eat the dome, maybe it's a good place to put it, but not so. Bimetal thermometers, I don't have a lot of confidence in. Teltrues seem to be the one exception to the rule, and we've tried a bunch of them. After that, when you get into I won't even touch upon liquid thermometers. They're great for refrigerators and places where you can't be changing the batteries all the time. Very precise, but certainly you don't want to be sticking one in meat. If they break, you got glass and I think it's alcohol mostly in them now.
Right.
There's no more mercury in them. Can you remember when you were a kid, we used to get mercury and hold it in your hand and roll it around? It was the coolest stuff.
No.
No, we used to do that all the time. Thermistors and thermocouples are the two digital thermometer probes. And usually you think of the probe as the tip that measures, and the meter is the device that interprets what the tip says.
Yeah.
And you can get some... The guys over at ThermoWorks actually pulled together some kits for me that we offer that they offer at my request. I don't sell them; they do. But they put them together, and I'm trying to find the code number of that slide. Oh dear. But in any case, they have a really neat meter. It's a small handheld meter. Where is that? Let me get the picture up on my screen here. Now I'm having technical troubles.
It's contagious.
Yeah, really. Somebody in the comment room said it's Korean hacking. There it is, slide 27.
Right, sir?
This is a little tiny handheld meter. It fits easily in the palm of your hand, and it's, again, a ThermoWorks product, but it works on the same principle as the ThermaPen, but it doesn't have a built-in probe. You can swap probes, and if you'll show slide 19...
Yep.
The K-type probe is a common one, and that fits in that kit. And you can buy a probe for your meat, a probe for your oven, and they have a really tiny, teeny meat instant read probe that's about 1 second to read, and it's like a hypodermic needle. It's so tiny. I love it, and I use it more than I use my ThermaPen. So that's a thermocouple, the K-type. The mini jack is usually your thermistor, and that's what you see on your Mavericks and your iGrills and such. We should talk just a little bit before we run out here on placement of the probes. Let's pull up slides 22, 23, and 24. So this is a gas grill. You want to be conscious of where the heat's coming from and don't be too close to the heat. So you'd want to put the probe somewhere not too far from the heat, not too close to the heat, in the middle. And I think you can see there's an X at the top of the screen there on a gas grill. And, of course, there's a turkey, and you'd want to rotate that turkey through the cook so that the dark meat's not catching all the heat all the time. But you want to get the probe. Now, if you'd switch to 23.
All right.
You want to get the probe 2 to 3 inches away from the meat. There's a cool air bubble around the meat.
Oh.
And that's and when you think about it, the meat's right out of the fridge, say 38 degrees. Put it in the oven. That meat is 38 degrees. There's a bubble of cool air surrounding it.
Also, this is important to note that for the folks that put the big pork butter brisket on their smoker and they see the temperature drop right off the bat. Well, after it's recovered, you see the temperature drop. You might have had it running at 250 or whatever, and it starts to gradually go down. It builds back up, but this is the reason why.
Yeah, and, the meat, that mass of meat shouldn't keep the temp down too much because the hot air moves through there fairly quickly. But you want to keep your probe out of that cool air bubble. And let's pull up slide 24.
Okay.
And a lot of people, you don't want the tip of the probe touching the metal grates. Some probes come with a little clip, but if you can't find your clip, if you've lost it, you can just make a wad of a foil. I've seen people use a potato.
Oh, my God. It happened again. Art. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and drop it right here. Let me first get into some reads here. I want to talk to you before we go about Cook Shack. Happy holidays from Cook Shack. So thankful to all their customers, vendors, dealers, distributors, employees. They send a special wish to all the listeners of the Barbecue Central show for a prosperous, happy, healthy, and tasty new year. Cook Shack manufactures electric smokers, pellet-fired smoker ovens, pellet-fired charbroilers, and pellet grills. Also sell accessories, sauces, rubs, woods, pellets to use in the ovens and grills. With a variety of sizes and styles, Cook Shack can fit the needs of any customer. And don't forget, Cook Shack provides commercial and competition cooking classes, online recipes, and video cooking classroom. Check out their website, cookshack.com, and pelletcooker.com. Their blog, their social media, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that. They also have a world-class barbecue forum that is moderated by Smokin' Okie Russ Garrett. On the competition circuit, Cook Shack pellet-fired smokers are the choice of champions. Teams from coast to coast in Canada use their smokers and pellet grills to get to the winner's circle. The FEC 100 can handle all 4 meat categories with ease, while the Fast Eddies by Cook Shack PG 1000 and 500 are pellet grills that can smoke on the indirect side and grill on the direct side. Your purchase comes with Cook Shack's unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. Buy it, use it, any Cook Shack product. If you're not 100% satisfied, return it within 30 days for a full refund, credit, or replacement. Cook Shack, dedicated to the craft of smoker ovens for genuine pit barbecue and wood smoking foods. They continue to develop and improve their products with an inspiration of smoking made simple. They would love to share their passion of barbecue with you. Give them a call, 800-423-0698, or cookshack.com, or pelletcooker.com. Also, if you want to step up that barbecue and grilling game, how about Dave Bosca, Butcher Barbecue? That's right. We all know Butcher, well known for the pork injection, the beef, the prime injection, the bird booster, all of it available for sale right now. Butcher Barbecue. That's butcherbbq.com. Perhaps you're looking for the go-to rubs and sauces. Friends, you've hit the mother load here as well. Butcher's has a full line of award-winning rubs. One of my personal favorites is that honey rub. Of course, I'm very partial to the steak and brisket rub, too. If you inject with Butcher's, try the premium rub. It's worked and formulated to work with the injection, the 1-2 punch that we always talk about. And last but not least, try the sweet barbecue sauce. When it comes to sauce in general, I'm as picky as it comes, right? No liquid smoke. Dave took the time and effort to make a quality sauce. Wow. Dave took the time to make a quality sauce, and when it comes to it, It's really one of the best ones out there on the market today. Get a box of 6. It's going to go fast. ButcherBBQ.com. That's ButcherBBQ.com. Always trust your butcher. And finally, folks, a public service announcement from Stephen DeFranco over at Stephen DeFranco Jewelers. We all know that Steve is the guy that I deal with when we're talking about jewelry here, from watches to rings, earrings, bracelets, you name it. Steve has it, and he is ready to help you out by saving you money and not talking into stuff that perhaps you otherwise wouldn't get yourself into. Go to Stephen DeFranco, DIFRANCO, StephenDeFranco.com. Call 440-943-2700. Tell him you're a barbecue brother or sister. He'll give you the real discounted price on pretty much everything that he has in the store. So if you think that you might be interested in some form or fashion of jewelry and you are not looking to get taken advantage of, I mean, who is, right? StephenDeFranco.com. That's StephenDeFranco.com. 440-943-2700. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Again, I apologize. Internet connection is much too shoddy this evening to continue. Humble apologies to both Meathead and to Dr. Barbecue Ray Lampe. We will try and reload Ray for next week, along with some other guests as well. September 11th, 2001, I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.